Hey everyone, welcome back to the ZHP Garage channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you have been enjoying the videos here on the channel of us doing the Nova build and other miscellaneous stuff so far, but mainly this Nova build. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. That's what we're going to be working on. So the very first thing that we did, we started tearing apart the LS. You're going to see that first coming up here shortly, but what you want to stay tuned for after that, we went up to LA, up in El Monte, LA area, and we picked up the front suspension for the 65 Nova. So it's pretty trick. I mean, I think it was made in more like 2015, 16. That's just a ballpark number. I'm not 100% on if that was the year it was made, but we'll get to that later. But first I want to show you us taking apart the engine. We started off with, taking apart what we said we were going to take apart in the last video. If you guys watched that last video, you know what I'm talking about. If not, it is going to be right here. So click that if you haven't seen it. Obviously not right now, you're watching this video, but if you haven't seen that video, check it out afterwards. And let's just get into it.
Alright, we tear this thing apart. We're going to take the heads and stuff off it. We don't need the spark plugs. Obviously we don't need the old exhaust manifold gaskets. We got a broken bolt here. We're going to get these broken bolts out. Got to get that cleaned up. So we're going to ditch the spark plugs. So zap those out. We're not using the, we're going to get a fresh set of plugs, so we're not using them. So just trash those. Take the plug out. We're going to take the valve cover off. 8mm. So this one, engine has the L92 cylinder heads. You can see that the rockers are offset. It's 823. All right, now we're gonna take the rockers off. We're gonna be reusing all this here. The rocker stands, you can reuse those. More than likely gonna upgrade the push rods, but we're gonna hold on to them for now.
Same thing, new side?
Same thing, new side.
Goodbye spark plugs.
So you can see that it gets dirt and garbage buildup right here. Being that we're gonna reuse the short block, we're not taking it all the way apart, so we don't want this dirt and garbage to fall inside the engine when we take this active fuel management cover off. So just gonna scrape it onto the floor, but we just want to get the big chunks out of the way because we don't want it to fall into the engine. And we take the cylinder heads off and for the
where's all this dirt come from?
And dust and grime driving down the road. Well, if you had the factory intake on here, it has like a little divider foamy thing that it's like a sound deadening for the valve train, but it holds all this garbage in here. I mean, if we were just tearing this down to go to the machine shop, it wouldn't be a big deal. You have to do it again because it gets dirt and grime around these head bolts up here. We'll take out these 10s. And these bolts are one-time use only. So they all get trashed.
How come they're one-time used only?
Well, these ones aren't a stretch bolt. These ones you probably get away with using again, but I recommend replacing them. But these ones, the actual head bolts, are a stretch bolt. Call them yield. One-time use. Stretch to yield. Torque to yield. Whichever terminology you want to use for it. But they're one-time use. We're gonna probably get some ARPs for this. they're extremely tight. We have to break them loose by hand first. A little impact can't take these loose, so we're going to break them loose by hand. Cylinder head number 1.
Oh, that's nice.
I got the multi-layer head gaskets. They always seem to get stuck on the dowels and the.
Now, how come there is multi-layer head gaskets?
Because they're amazing.
Because they're amazing.
They're amazing.
Remember that.
Can't use those either. Gotta get new ones. They're amazingly good for cutting your finger, I tell you that.
Already got the new engine puking everywhere. It's like you just got a new dog.
Alright, let's get these lifters out here. So these are the active fuel management lifters. So when it determines that the criteria is correct, you know, to the right throttle and everything, it shuts down 4 cylinders. So it shuts down 1 in 7 and 2 in 4. So it goes into a 4-cylinder when you're cruising down the freeway. That's what the active fuel management is. But we're going to delete that because we're running full V8 all the time. We're not looking for fuel economy. But these are the ones that always fail.
How come it fails so often?
Because the lifters collapse and then it beats up the camshaft. So if you catch it soon enough, you can just do lifters. But a lot of times you got to do a camshaft because it beats it up. So these are active fuel management. Lifters have a spring on them, so they still have tension on the valve train, so you don't get valve lash when it shuts them down. So this is a normal lifter. You see it doesn't have a spring on it. The spring is just to keep tension on the valve train, so when it shuts it down, it doesn't clatter. This is what we're going to convert it to, so all of them are going to be these, but we're going to get a new set. So I just want to make sure that we don't have, you know, big debris that fell in there. Then to get it out of the cylinders, get it to the top. Most of it will fall out. You can just wipe it off.
Now onto the other side.
The same deal. Yeah, be careful, these multi-layers. These things are like razor blades. See, here's a bad lifter here. See how it's eating up the lobe? It's probably the one that's making noise. That's why they did the engine in it. So when we take the cam out, I'm sure that cam's going to be eaten up on that lobe. A lot of this stuff will fall out when we flip it over, but we don't want to have big debris in here.
How are we going to flip the engine over?
We're going to take the oil pan off. We're going to do an oil pump, so we got to change the pickup to the oil pump. So it'd just be easier working upside down. To just flip the engine and do it that way. So we're gonna do the same. We're gonna get the crap out of the cylinder. This one's already a top dead. Just give it a wipe and then water and everything out of it.
All sorts of stuff in that one.
Yeah, just been taking it apart. All right, so now we're gonna take off the active fuel management. A lot of times this gasket breaks down, these get loose and it starts causing an oil leak. I'll go down the back and people think it's a rear main all the time. So this whole thing is going to get trashed. The new cover should come with bolts, but this is all the solenoids. You gotta try to catch this oil, or this dirt here so it doesn't get in the engine. Give it a quick wipe by. So I'm gonna do a rough cleanup on this, on the gasket service. I like to use just a new razor blade and then turn the engine so the piston, because this piston's actually out of the cylinder a little bit, so if you scrape it, it'll hit the piston. So you just rotate it over so they're all down in the hole. Then just hold it flat. You can scrape it off, and if you get like a bunch of spot, you can carefully scrape it. Get the big stuff. You just gotta be careful because it's aluminum, so you don't like dig into it. So just be careful when you're doing it flat. If the dowel pins get in your way, you can pop them out. Just gonna reuse them, so get them out of your way, and then just scrape it. All right, so I got the, roughed up, clean. And then you saw you got a little bit of black. That's not necessarily, because this isn't 100% smooth. There's a roughness to it. There's a finish, surface finish. Gosh, roughness that all manufacturers have. That's why you see those little waves in there. So it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to clean it 100% smooth. So don't get a Scotch-Brite pad and start going to town out with your buzzy wheel. So you can get some brake clean on a rag, because all that is residue from the gasket. So get some brake cleaner on a rag and just wipe it down, and you can see that it comes all off. And that's how you finish cleaning it after you get all the rough gasket material off. And that's how you clean it the rest of the way. If there's any pieces that are, a big piece that you get in, another razor blade, because it kind of dulls them pretty quick when you do that, and you go over it again, and that's how you get the final little pieces. You just want to make sure that it's clean and all the big debris off of it. But it's not going to be 100%. You can see the ripples in it. I don't know if you can get close enough on it, but you
can see it right there.
Another thing to note is these holes don't go into the cooling system. They're a blank hole. So before you put the head back on it, you want to blow the crap out of there. So you want to put a rag and blow the debris and everything out of the holes. Because if the coolant gets in there normally in the back here, because these coolant ports, it'll fill up this hole. And then you go to run the bolt in there, and it'll hydraulic the hole, and it'll crack the block because the coolant's got nowhere to go. So make sure you clean the holes out before you put it back together. Just want to blow out all the crap out of the holes. That was just a rough clean. Then same on the other side. Pretty much it for this go around. So next time we'll finish taking the camshaft out of it. So the the pulley, cover, the oil pan, camshaft out, oil pump, pickup. Finish cleaning it up, prepping it, and then we'll hopefully start getting it back together.
Well, that's what we had in store for messing with the engine in this video. Coming soon, we're gonna do a couple more things. We're gonna have to take out the camshaft and basically put the rest of it back together. So that's what you're gonna be seeing done to the engine coming here soon. But enough of the engine, I want to get on to this front suspension that we picked up. So when we got it, the guy said that it was originally like a showroom front suspension. It was basically whatever I just said, for display. So that's why it kind of looks, cherry the way it looks. It's a little dusty right now, so it doesn't look as cherry as it probably was when he first got it. But we got a good deal on it. So this is it. It is the TCI front suspension. It came with Willwood disc brakes in the front. It's still strapped in here in my daily driver, old and busted. But so yeah, that's why it has the red paint on it, because it was kind of showroom with the chrome. But We don't plan to keep it red because the red on the orange is gonna look really funky on the Nova, so we're probably gonna take it apart and sandblast this and powder coat it black or something like that. You know, some kind of black. We don't know what kind of shocks are on here, but I think they're just single adjust shocks is what Master Mechanic said. The disc brakes are in a box. They're not on. As you can obviously see right now, they're not on. These are the inner fenders. And obviously a little rusty right now, but sandblast that and powder coat it. Be great to go. And then right here we have the support that'll be bolted on from here, and it'll bolt to the frame of the Nova. And you'll be able to see more of it when we, start putting it together. So stay tuned for the next episode when we get this into the garage. We'll start working on it and start making it look cherry. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video here on the ZHP Garage. There's a lot planned, man. So just stay tuned for next episode. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button, hit those notifications so you get notified when we post. And just like always, I will see you next time.